All right, in this video, we're going to go over the rate of change and which is our slope and the y-intercept and interpret the meaning of it. So for this graph, we're just looking for two ordered pairs at the intersection of the corners. So for example, 8, 120. So let me redo that. 120 and then 4, 100. Now we're going to do m equals 100 minus 120 over 4 minus 8. If we put that into the calculator, it's going to simplify to 5 over 1, or just 5. So our slope is talking about Fahrenheit, because that is our y value, and it's talking about minutes, which is our x value. So this whole situation is talking about a beaker. So 5 over 1 represents the beaker's temperature is increasing. And then this is where we start using the numbers. So the number 5 is increasing 5. And then we said it was degrees Fahrenheit, degree Fahrenheit, every. And then we're using the x value, every 1 minute. Now, the next part that we have to determine is the starting point. What temperature did we start at? So if you want, you can write a y, and then it starts at 80. So the temperature started at 80 degrees. And then just make sure that you use Fahrenheit, because that is what our y is talking about. And then to write the equation of the line, it's just y equals 5x plus 80, because that is mx plus b. Same thing with number 2. So number 2, now we're talking about clay, and Miss Curtis is handing out clay to each one of her students. So if I choose x comma y for my ordered pair, and then 12 comma 30, we're going to find a rate of change of 30 minus 15, and then 12 minus 24. So if I just do this in my head, it would be 15 over negative 12, but we want that to simplify. And then we would get negative 5 over 4. And then my b value is where we're beginning. So we're beginning at 45. Now this is where we have to be mindful. It is y over x. So we're talking about pounds for our y value. And then we're talking about students for our x. So then we write a sentence. You can say the clay is decreasing in size. Uh, 5 pounds for every 4 students. You can say that she's giving 5 pounds for every 4 students. Anything along those lines is fine. And then we're starting out with how many pounds? We're starting out with 45 pounds. So the clay started at 45 pounds, because that's our y-intercept. Now, the word problems are going to be slightly harder, because we're trying to figure out our x, which is our cause, and our y, which is the effect. So the two units that we're talking about are hours, and we're talking about feet. So what is causing something to happen? The hours height is causing the change in the altitude. It's causing the change in the feet. So we need to remember that it's always x comma y. So we're allowed to do 4 hours comma 600. Then this 6 hours we're at 400. Now we're going to do the slope just like we did before. So we have m equals 400 minus 600 over 6 minus 4. So if you simplify that, that's going to get you negative 100. Now the b value is not as easy as if we had a graph, because we have to now do a triple substitution. So you're allowed to pick any ordered pair. I'll just pick the first one, and then you pick the slope. So the first ordered pair is 600 is our y value. We found our slope to be negative 100. We found it to be 4 for our x, and then plus b. So here is where we get the one-step equation. Remember, we have to minus 400 and do the opposite by adding 400. And that's going to get us 1,000. So if we put it all together, it's y equals negative 100x plus 1,000. So our slope is negative 100, and I'm going to put it over 1, and then my y-intercept is 1,000. So for our y-intercept, you have to remember that it's the change of y over the change of x. So my y's are talking about feet, and then this is talking about hours. So the hiker is decreasing because it's negative 100 feet every hour. And then the y value, once again, we're talking about feet. The y-intercept is the starting point. So the hiker starts at how many feet? It's 1,000 feet, because that's our b value. Number two is this, number two on the word problems is the exact same thing. So x is going to be the cause, and then the y is the effect. So our two items that we're talking about are inches and hours. So does the inches cause the hours to increase or decrease, or do the hours cause the inches to increase or decrease? So the cause is our time, and then the effect is the inches, because as the hours go on, either our snowman is going to increase or it's going to decrease based on what we find. So you need to remember that it's x comma y. So in this case, it's 2 comma 13, and then 4 comma 8. If you get the x's and y's confused, then the whole problem would end up being incorrect. So you want to make sure that you have it in the right order. So then this is negative 5 over 2. So it's decreasing 5 inches every 2 hours. or it's melting, is what some students said today. So 5 inches every 2 hours. Now we have to figure out what we're starting with, and that's when we have to do that triple substitution. So my y is going to be 13. My slope is negative 5 over 2. And then that's 2 plus b. Simplify that. So my b is 18. So if I want an equation, so the equation would be y equals negative 5 over 2x plus 18. And then our starting amount is 18. So the starting height is 18 inches. So make sure you have the unit and the number that goes with it.